Okay, so once you get this, once you've solved for these values, you can check by putting each one of them in separately and make sure the equation works. Okay, so that was how to use one function. I'm going to show you again the very same question. Here it is. And instead of using one graph and solving for intercepts, we're going to use two graphs. Okay, and we're going to find intersection points. Make sure that they're the same. All right, so here is method number 2, solving graphically. So solving graphically, method number 2, two functions. All right, so what you want to do here, and this might already be given to you in a question, but you want to have two kind of separate functions that you can graph. And by throwing this -5 to the other side, I now have two kind of functions that I can graph. One function is this, y equals x plus 6 over x plus 2. That's one. That's this half of the equation. The other one is this half of the equation, y equals 5. Okay? And if we go back to our steps from previous, for two functions, we find the intersection point or points. And so these are our two functions right here. So let's give that a go. Hit y equals, all right. So from the previous example there, I already had this in here. I'll just get rid of that -5. Okay, so there it is there. You can do that as well if you still have that in your calculator. And we'll put the y equals 5 as a second function. So again, graph this half of the equation as a function, and then graph this half of the equation as a second function, and find the intersection points. So if I graph that now, this is what we have. So this graph right here, do you remember this part when we just graphed this as one function right there, you see? We didn't see this bottom half down there on the screen, and this is your asymptote. So here is this graph over here, and here's the y equals 5. So we're going to find the intersection points, which one is there and one is there, and this is how you do that. Second function calculates, and you go down to option 5 now, and it's going to say first curve. So the line of questioning is just a little bit different. First curve, yes. Second curve, yes. Now, when you tell the calculator to guess, here's the thing. Because there's two intercepts, it's going to automatically just choose one. You should kind of move your cursor closer to the one that you're actually looking for. And then the calculator will say, okay, that's the one it wants me to find. So the intersection point is -1, 5. So x equals -1. There is your answer, one solution. And then we would do the same for the second intersection point. And so if you do the same process, you find the other intersection point as x equals -4 and y equals 5. So here's your other value, x equals 4. And they're not restricted, so there you go. Should be the same as when we graphed a single equation. So this example 3 asks us to solve both algebraically and graphically. Okay? So again, what we're going to want to do is algebraically, we need to get rid of the denominators. Okay? We need to get rid of the denominators. It might be a good idea to factor so that you can kind of see what you're dealing with. Right? So if we have, like this over here can be factored. Okay? So 2x minus 5 plus 2x. And I guess the top, not so much, but the bottom, certainly we can factor. And we can take a what? A 2 out, right? 2x. Oh, sorry. Let me just move that to the bottom. Obviously, you've got to rewrite this part. 2 times 2x plus 5. Okay? So, if we factor this, we might save ourselves just a little bit of time. Okay, instead of multiplying by this right here and by this whole thing, then we can just pick the two factors. Yeah? Oh, this one's a plus 5 over here from the text. Oh, thank you. I copied that down wrong. Okay. All right. Well, that makes it even simpler. Thank you. All right. Very good. So here we only have two factors in the denominator and not Like we have this one and we have 2. That's it. Instead of this and this big ugly thing. So we're going to multiply everything by 2 and 2x plus 5. Okay? So what happens when we multiply these two together? This times that. What happens? Well, on this side of the equation sign then, the 2 here is going to cancel with the 2 there. The 2x plus 5 with the 2x plus 5. So we just have 8x plus 15 over here. That's what's going to happen when I multiply these two together. What's going to happen when I multiply this with this side over here? Okay, so we do that separately. Each term gets multiplied. So let's do, first of all, let's do this one times this. And we see that the 2x plus 5 and the 2x plus 5 are going to cancel out. And we're just left with 2 times x. So it's going to be 2x over there. Right? Because again, this goes with that. So it's just 2 times x. So let's do, in pink now, let's do this one times this term. And there's nothing to cancel out or divide out here, right? No denominators, so you just have to kind of multiply this just straight away here. So 2x times 2 is 4x. What's 4x times 2x plus 5? Well, let's separate that. So it's going to be 4x times 2x plus 5. Because you have 3 terms here, 1, 2, 3. So you have to multiply them all together. There's no distribution the first time through, just this one times this. And now we have to distribute, okay? And so let's do that last step here. That's 2x plus, now this is 8x squared plus 20x equals 8x plus 15. Or 8x squared plus 22x is 8x plus 15. And at this point, I'm going to come back to this line because when we do this, when we solve this graphically, right, you could go right back to here and type those two in, or you could come to here and type these two as the two equations, and you should get the same answer, no matter which one. So we'll come back to that, but for algebraically, again, we need to get everything over to one side, right? So 8x squared, if I subtract 8x over here, so 22 minus 8 is plus 14x, and then subtract 15 from both sides gives us this. And if we factor this, now, if we can pull a common factor from the terms, we should. We can't. And so this one, we have a coefficient other than 1 here. So again, if you don't know how to factor this, you need to come see me at lunch. Okay, we'll go through this. But by intuition, you can do some trial and error here. And that means that we know that the first terms here have to multiply to this one. So you might choose 8x and x. You might choose, what else could you choose? 4x and 2x, right? It's usually a good idea. Usually you have better chances if you pick the factors that are closer together. So I'm going to do 4x and 2x just as a trial again, and then I'm going to flip over to this term and say what two numbers multiply to negative 15. Well, we have 15 and 1, with one of them being negative. We have 5 and 3, with one of them being negative. So if we kind of stick with the factors that are closer together, again, those are usually the factors that are it. So then you go, okay, well, let's try negative 5 here and positive 3. And if you were doing this by intuition, all this can go pretty quick in your head, but you do a quick FOIL, and that's negative 20x plus 6x. Negative 20x plus 6x. Does that give us positive 14? It gives us negative 14, so that means we're close. And again, this is all going to go in through your head real quick, and so you just say, hey, you know what? If these signs were changed, then I would be okay. Again, quick FOIL. from the beginning, that's 8x squared. Yeah, that's 20x. Yeah, that's minus 6x and minus 15. That equals that, so you factored this correctly. So that's by intuition. The decomposition method is something that we can go over another time. But anyways, factoring this, that's how you factor that. You could also use the quadratic formula. Yes, which is x equals negative b plus or minus root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Yes, that's the annoying little thing that I taught you. It's stuck in your head, I know. Isn't it sad? It's sad that you have a math formula stuck in your head. You are officially a nerd like me. Okay, it's all right. It's okay to be a nerd. Hey, I have a wonderful life. I'm just a nerd. Okay. I do. You can if you're a nerd like me, you probably shouldn't call people nerds. I said I have a wonderful life. I have a wonderful wife too. I have a nerd-loving wife. It's true. That is true love. You know it's real when your wife is smoking hot and you're a nerd. That's how you know it's real. Okay, can we get back to the lesson now, please? Thank you. All right. So yes, this is the quadratic formula. Thank you. Yes, you can use that too. This sometimes is quicker and easier, sometimes not. Well, what is the x value here that we're looking for? Positive 3 divided by 4. Easy. This one is negative 5 divided by 2. What? I just skipped writing out a step here. Instead of doing 2x plus 5 equals 0 and then solving step by step, you can actually get right to the answer from here going, hey, I know that this has got to go to the other side, it's going to become negative. Then I have to divide by 2. So change the sign, this number divided by that number. That always works. Change the sign, this number divided by that number. Done. If you plugged A, 8, B, 14, C, negative 15 into this puppy over here, you should get the exact same answers. Whoa. Okay? Okay? Oh, good. Oh no, I tried to pause it and then I ended up hitting stop, but I didn't end up stopping it because I have to hit control stop. I'm gonna have to go back and edit this now. Thank you. No, I don't have to edit either way. If I hit pause right, I don't have to edit it. Edit it takes me a lot of time. Do you know how busy I am as a teacher? Anyone want to guess? No. 3? What kind of an answer is 3? I know how busy you are. 3! 3 out of what? 2? Yes. 3 out of 2. That's exactly how busy I am. Oh boy. Okay. So now you're going to have to watch this video to see if I actually edited that out. Okay? I wonder if you edited that out. Let's watch the whole math video again. See, this is part of my plan. No, don't fast forward. You can't fast forward. That's illegal. YouTube doesn't let you do that. All right, moving on. Moving on. For all the future generations that have just fast forwarded through this part. Okay? Actually, I have nothing else to teach you, so that's pretty much the end. Why would I show my class these videos next year? Why would I do that? Yeah, what I might do is just sit over there with my feet up and just say, hey, listen to this video. I'm going to sleep and drink coffee over here. Hopefully not at the same time, because I might aspirate and die. Okay. Look at all this that we've done. This is amazing. Okay, so here's the review. The review. The key ideas review to the section. Yes, you are going to have a test soon. Nah, I don't know. We'll see. Okay, read the key ideas on the board. Okay, here is your small assignment. Isn't it cute? You didn't want a big assignment, you want a small one. There it is.